Hi everyone. So today for book time, we are going to be reading this book, and I wonder what you can tell me you notice about the cover. You see that there's a pig on top of a bus, a school bus. And let's look at their faces. Let's see. Do you see his face? He looks happy. He has his legs wave going back and forth on the bus, his arms in the air. And he has a number 1 on him. That's right. And let's look at these pigs. How do you think they feel? It looks like he has his eyes squinting. Like maybe he's upset or frustrated. So the title of this book is called Me First. And it's written by Helen Lester. And it's illustrated by Lynn Munsinger. Me First, written by Helen Lester and illustrated by Lynn Munsinger. Of course, illustrated is a person who draws a picture, and the writer is a person who comes up with the words. So here on the cover, what do you see? You see a witch here, and I wonder, how do you know it's a witch? Because she has a hat, a long pointy hat maybe. And her nose is also long and pointy. And then you see the pig here. Pinkerton was pink, plump, and pushy. He would do anything to be first, even if it meant bouncing off bellies, stepping on snouts, or tying tails. Oh my goodness. How would you feel, or how do you think these piggies feel, knowing that he's bouncing on their bellies, snapping on their snouts, tying their tails? Do they look happy that he's doing that? No, they're not happy. I wouldn't be happy if somebody was doing mean things like that to me. Me first, he cried when he had been last in line and finished first down the slide. Me first, he cried at story time, settling on his round bottom with his big head right smack in front of the book. And every day in the school troughateria, me first rang out, and there was Pinkerton. So he always wants to be first. He wants to be the first person to go down the slide, the first person to read the book, the first person to get their food. How would you feel if you're standing in line and somebody just yells, me first, and then just go straight in front of you getting whatever you are waiting for? I wouldn't feel happy about that. That would make me sad and mad and probably a little bit angry. One Saturday, Pinkerton's Pig Scout troop went on a day trip on the beach. Pinkerton was first on the bus and sat in the front row. Oh my goodness. There he is. He's rushing in. Oh my God, what happened? Look at this little piggy. What do you think happened to him? You think maybe Pinkerton pushed him down? Maybe. And look at his face. It looks like he's going to fall down too. That's not very nice of him to be doing that. To be rushing in front, pushing everybody out of the way. He was first off the bus, first in the water, first out of the water, and first into the picnic basket. Oh my gosh, how do you think his pig troop feels about him always being first? First out of the bus, first in the water, first out of the water, and first into the picnic basket. I think that would be a little bit annoying. Like, it's frustrating and it's upsetting. That's how I would feel if he's just rushing along because he wants to be first all the time. So I wonder, what do you think is going to happen? Because he's always being first, and his troop, his Pig Scout, is always letting him go first. What do you think might happen? You think maybe he's going to tell them they're going to tell him something and get upset with him? Let's find out. After lunch, the Pig Scouts decided to go for a hike. Off they went, with Pinkerton leading the line, of course. As the Pig Scouts marched across the sand, they heard a faint voice far in the distance. The voice called out, "Who would care for a sandwich?" Pinkerton picked up his pointy ears. Care for a sandwich? Oh yes, me first, he thought, and he began to trot ahead of the others. So he heard a voice saying who would care for a sandwich. And of course, he wants to be the first one, so he dashes off to go find who said who would care for a sandwich. Look, all the Pig Scouts are upset and sad over here while he's running away. Soon he heard the voice again, closer and louder this time. Who would care for a sandwich? Me first, cried Pinkerton, kicking up sand and leaving the other Pig Scouts far behind. His imagination almost burst. Peanut butter, jelly, 2 tomatoes, 7 pickles, a slab of cheese, a blob of mayo, a big smear of mustard, all for me first. Who would care for a sandwich? So let's see. See him? Oh my gosh, he's thinking about his sandwich over here. Here's the sandwich that he's been thinking about. The peanut butter, jelly, tomatoes, pickles, some cheese and mayo and mustard. That looks like a very interesting sandwich. Would you eat that sandwich? I wouldn't eat it. That doesn't sound too good. So he's running off. He says he wants a sandwich. He's imagining this sandwich. And what do you think is going to happen when is he going to find the sandwich that he wants? No, you don't think so? Maybe he won't. Maybe he will. Let's find out. Now, at a full gallop, Pinkerton shrieked, "Me first!" Over a sandy hill he flew, and kerplop. He landed face to face with a small creature with a bump on her nose and fur on her toes. "Am I glad to see you?" she cackled. "I sure could hear you coming. Me first, me first, me first. I guess you really would care for a sandwich." Oh, so he tripped and fell down and found a small creature with a bump on her nose and hair on her toes. Let's see, is he going to get the sandwich that he wanted? "Oh, yes, indeed," replied Pinkerton. He jumped up and down so fast his teeth jiggled. "Good," cackled the small creature. Pinkerton waited 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds. "Well?" he asked. "Well, what?" replied the small creature. "The sandwich," begged Pinkerton. "Where's the sandwich?" The small creature curtsied. "You're looking at her," she went on. "I am a sandwich, and I live in the sand, and you said you would care for a sandwich. So here I am. Care for me." So he thought he was going to get a sandwich with 7 pickles, 2 tomatoes, a blob of mayo, and cheese, and mustard, and peanut butter and jelly. But instead, what does he get? A sandwich. A witch that lives in the sand. And he has to care for her because he said, me first, I want to care for her. So instead, he thought he was getting a sandwich. But instead of getting the sandwich, he got a sandwich, and he's going to be the first person to take care of her. Do you think he wants to do that? You think he wants to take care of a sandwich? Would you? No, I don't think I would want to take care of a sandwich. So let's see what happens, what he has to do to take care of her. All Pinkerton could say was, "But I..." Taking no notice, the sandwich continued. "You said me first. You wanted to be the first to care for me. Well, congratulations. Now just come along to my sandcastle. Grabbing Pinkerton firmly by the sleeve, she led him around a few bends. So she's taking him to the castle to take care of her. Before he could say, "But I," again, the gate to her castle closed. "All right, my pink, plump, and pushy one. Now you care for me. You may have the honor of being the first to powder my nose and comb my toes." Ew. Would you want to powder somebody else's nose and comb their toes? Their hair must be really long for you to have to comb them. I wouldn't want to do that. Would you? No, that seems kind of like a stinky job. Seeing no way out, Pinkerton powdered her nose and combed her toes. Oh, look, there he is, combing her toes. And how does she look? She looks happy because she has somebody doing the things, taking care of her. And how do you think he feels? Sad because he didn't get his sandwich? That's not what he wanted. "Next," she crowed, "you may be the first to put my supper in a bucket and feed me with a shovel." Pinkerton looked around. He had no choice. He put her supper in a bucket and fed her with a shovel. Rubbing her tummy, the sandwich spoke on. "Finally, after you've had the privilege of being the first to wash my dishes and sweep my castle and do my laundry and curl my hair and tuck me in, you may be the first to tell me a bedtime story." It sounds like he's doing a lot of chores, right? Is that something you would want to be the first to do? Chores? I wouldn't want to be the first to do that. I barely do my own chores. And if I have to do somebody else's chores, I do not want to be the first to do them. They can get somebody else to do them. What do you think? Yeah, you wouldn't want to do their chores either? So let's see if what else he has to do. Pinkerton washed the dishes. Oh my goodness, look at all those dishes. That means she never wants to wash her dishes. I never want to wash my dishes, but they never get that piled up. Swept the castle. Look at him sweeping all over the place. Did the laundry, curled the sandwich's hair, and tucked her in. That seems like an awful lot of work, right? How would you feel if you had to do all that work? Tired? I would be tired. The sandwich stretched and yawned loudly. "Now the story. I need my story." Pinkerton was so tired he could barely speak. "I don't know any stories," he whimpered. "Then how about making up something? Oh, how about something concerning a pushy pig who always wanted to be first?" Pinkerton sighed and began. "Once upon a time there lived a pig who always wanted to be first, until one day he met a wise sandwich." "Wise and beautiful," cut in the sandwich. "A wise and beautiful sandwich who showed him that first was not always best." So he's saying that being first is not always the best. So do you think he learned his lesson? Yeah, because sometimes you may want to be the first for something, but you're not knowing what that thing is. And you might find out that that's not really what you want to be doing. "Aha!" cackled the sandwich. She gave Pinkerton a slow, serious, and meaningful wink. "Have you learned something?" "Oh, yes, said Pinkerton. "I promise I have." "In that case, thanks for the care. Goodbye and good luck." She opened the gate and Pinkerton sped off so fast he didn't even notice the delicious sandwich she held out to him. Oh my gosh, he was so ready. He was so ready to be out of there that as soon as she opened the gate, he ran out there and he didn't even notice that she had a sandwich for him to eat. You see, it even had everything that he dreamt up. The 2 tomatoes, some pickles, it looks like some mayonnaise and everything. And he's just over there running like, "Peace, I'm out. I'm never going to want to be first again." So I guess he learned his lesson because he didn't even look back to see what she had in her hand. He was just in time to catch the bus. On he scooted, pink, plump, and glad to be last. So sometimes it is good to be last, right? Because you don't know what you're getting yourself into. It could be something good. It could be something bad. You might end up getting more than what you thought you were getting, right? And it might not be a good thing, and it might not be a good thing. It could be a bad thing. So that's the end of our story called Me First. So I wonder what are something that you would like to be first for, and what are some things you wouldn't want to be first for, right? Because there's some things like if I really need to go restroom, I want to be the first one to use the restroom, right? But do I want to be the first one to eat vegetables? Probably not. So I wonder, what are some things that you would want to be the first to do, and what are some things you would want to be the last to do?